Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. All right, lesson 40, writing quotients with mixed numbers. Go ahead and pause the video, write this down, and you'll do it with me as we go. Okay, so here I just have two pieces of paper, and you'll see why in a second, that are congruent shapes. What does congruent mean? Same size and same shape, right? All right, here we go. So in this picture right here, these we're going to pretend they're pot pies, all right? We're going to be talking about mixed numbers, right? Writing quotients with mixed numbers. A mixed number can represent the sum of a whole number. And so we're going to find out. So if you have some whole numbers and then fractions, also, that is called a mixed number. And we'll see. So you have two whole pot pies, okay, so shade in one whole one, and then shade in another whole one. So that's two whole pot pies. And then we're going to shade in 1/2 of the next pot pie. So it's divided into 6 parts. How many parts would I shade in to be 1/2? The answer is 3. I hope that is what you were thinking in your head or said out loud. So I can shade in any 3 of these. I can shade in 3 and it would look like a fan. I can shade in 3 and it would look like half. Or I can shade in any combination of 3 that I want. Keep it simple, I'm just going to shade in the top 3. All right, so there are 2.5 pot pies sitting here. So how would we use digits or numbers to write 2 and 1/2? It would look like this, 2 and 1/2. And I know what you're thinking, Miss Sparks, I already know that. Yes, I know you know that because you are so smart. So example 1, use a mixed number to name the number of shaded circles shown below. So this is the number of shaded circles shown below. We have 1 full circle shaded and then half of the other circle shaded. Okay, so use mixed numbers to write the number of shaded circles. We see 2 circles total, right? 1 is completely shaded, and that represents the whole number 1. And the second circle, half, is shaded. It represents the fraction 1/2. So it's divided into 2 parts, so that's our denominator. And then the numerator is the number of shaded. 1 of those parts is shaded. So 1 and 1/2 is shaded. So some problems that we're going to do have answers that are mixed numbers. For example, we're going to pretend that these are full sheets of paper, okay, but obviously I couldn't do a full sheet of paper on my full sheet of paper. So a full sheet of paper is 8 and 1/2 inches by 11 inches. Okay, so if a paper is 8.5 inches wide and 11 inches long, and then so we're going to pretend that we fold it in half. This paper over here, since it's congruent, it means it's the same shape and same size. Okay, so if I folded it in half, now what is this part didn't change, so that is still 8 and 1/2 inches. But how many inches would this length be? Half of that? Excuse me. So we have 11 inches, and we would have, in order to half it, we would divide it by 2, okay? Well, you can't divide 11 by 2 evenly. Why not? Because it's an odd number. So we would think, what can we divide it by? What is the closest number to 11 without going over? That's even. The answer is 10. So 10 is the closest number to 11 that's even without going over, and half of 10 is 5. And then we have to add another half to that, so it would be 5.5 inches. And to double check our answer, which is always important to do, we can come over here and write 5 and 1/2 plus 5 and 1/2, and we're going to get 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 whole, okay? So you would just make this 1 whole. And 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. And lo and behold, that checks out. That's why we double check, to make sure. So this would be 5.5 inches. This 5.5 inches is the measurement of this side right here, right? All right, example 2. Asher, Jude, and Owen will equally share 7 chicken pot pies. How many pies are there going to be for each of them? So the first thing I'm going to do is write their names here, okay? Their little pile of pot pies. Asher, Jude, and Owen. All right, and there's 7 pot pies altogether. So we're going to start drawing them to see how many they get. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we will have 1 left over. So it's not asking for a remainder. They're dividing them evenly. So how many would we do that? So first, you see that they each get 2 pot pies. However, there's 7 pot pies total. So there's still 1 pot pie that has to be divided. So I'm going to draw this pot pie down here. And since it has to be divided into 3 groups, I'm going to split it into thirds. Okay? And you are going to give this part can go to Asher, this part will go to Jude, and this part will go to Owen. So they will each get, you find that they will each get 1/3. So they will each get 2 whole pot pies and 1 part of this 3-part pot pie. Okay, so the denominator is how many parts it's divided into, and the numerator is how many parts they each get, which is 1. So Owen will get 2 1/3, Jude will get 2 1/3, and Asher will get 2 1/3. And if we were to add these 3 thirds up, you'd get 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 is 1 whole, okay, because it's going to be 3 thirds. So 2, 4, 6, and then that one would be 7. So how many pies are there for each person? 2 1/3 pies per person. All right. And then in lesson practice. So for the lesson practice, what you're doing is in A and B, you're writing a mixed number to show the number of shaded circles. So in A, you've got this circle is shaded completely, and then you're going to divide this one into 3 equal parts, and 1 of those parts is shaded. So you're going to write the mixed number for that. And then in B, you're going to shade in both of these circles total. And now at this time, please make a smiley face in the 0 for lesson 40. And this one you're going to divide into fourths, and you're going to shade 1 of these in. So now write the mixed number for these. This, okay? And for C and D, what the directions are is draw and shade the circles to represent these. So it's the opposite of what I did for A and B. So here I gave you the circles, and you had to write the mixed number. Now I'm giving you the mixed number, and you have to draw the circles. And in E, this problem is similar to example 2. So Olivia, Eliana, Abby, and Elizabeth, this time they're sharing 9 cupcakes equally. How many cupcakes will each person get? Please draw the picture to represent that, and then let me know. So if you have leftover, which I don't know if you will, but if you do, then you're going to need to divide it equally, okay? See, so how many will you equally divide it into? Here I had 3 people sharing it. Here I've got 4 people sharing it. Please draw the picture and show me that. Thank you. I hope that you guys all have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow.